Today I'm gonna talk about fasting, weight loss, and mental health. So I wanna talk about this today. I put it in the cover photo and I wanna talk about mental health. And there's three different things I wanna talk about when it comes to mental health. And don't mind me, I was just kind of working off a mood today. So I was on the treadmill doing some walking, trying to get myself pumped and get into a better mood. So I'm wearing my ugly little cap. So I hope you guys are doing well. Hi guys, I see everybody signing on now. So this is what I want to talk about today. So there's three different parts of the mental health that I want to kind of dive into today when it comes to weight loss. Okay, I even wrote it down so I don't forget it. The number one thing that I want to talk about is just in general when we're doing the fasting, even if you go through the entire fast without losing any weight at all, the benefits that it does, like what it does to alleviate your bad mood or your depression, that type of thing, it's so important. Just by fasting, I'm telling you right now, even if I lost 0 weight while fasting, the positive effects that it has on my mood is incredible. Oops. So that's the first thing I want to talk about, fasting and mental health and how it really can improve your mental health. And what I always say is the depression, the anxieties, those types of things, it's so, so, so important. Okay? The second thing I want to talk about is mental health with weight loss in terms of your mental catch-up. So let's say that you've been on this journey for a while and you've lost a bunch of weight. Sometimes it takes your mind some time to catch up to where your body's at. Maybe if you look in the mirror, your body looks good, but sometimes your mind doesn't even register the fact that you feel good, you look good. And your mind still kind of identifies itself as your former self, which was overweight. I'm looking at the wrong side because the camera's there. But sometimes your brain doesn't catch up to your body on time. I don't know if that happens to you guys. Has that ever happened to any of you guys? Where you lose some weight or you lose a significant amount of weight and you get to this level and you look good in the mirror, you look good in photos, but mentally you still feel like that person, that self-conscious person at the beginning. Those kind of days happen. I don't like my background today. I'll just do this. So anyway, you guys are doing awesome. Glenn says happy Friday Eve. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it, the glass half full. So those are the two things I want to talk about. And I also want to talk about this journey. Okay, this journey is you versus you. Don't forget that. I know a lot of people, it almost feels like it's not you versus you in this weight loss journey anymore. A lot of the time, it feels like it's you versus the world. Because even if you have some doubt inside and you work through your doubt, then there are so many people around you, so many doubters, haters, instilling that fear, instilling that doubt in your mind. And it makes it really hard to continue on this journey. And I talked about this in my other video the other day, talking about how it's really, really important to kind of like tune out everybody's negative opinions because it can really have a negative effect on your journey. Mentally, it's really, really difficult to kind of keep going with this. Oxygen says, I broke my fast at the end of day 5. We'll continue on OMAD. A bunch of you guys are saying you're doing great. Jennifer said 2 pounds, 2 days. Whoa, that's great. Yeah, you guys are awesome. I'm just gonna take a little break to do that. So, okay, I'm gonna tell you guys, after yesterday, I decided that I'm gonna do a little crutch meal. So I actually did a little crutch meal. So right now we're on day 5 of the challenge, but I had to like break it. So I reset my timer on the fasting calendar and I'm continuing on going. A lot of people did this as well. If you guys are still going strong, I highly recommend not to break your fast. Okay, if I could have chosen otherwise, I would recommend people not to do it because I want to experiment with it first before telling you guys that it's a good thing to do. Because I know Jason Fung talks about it. And if you guys have this book, I found where it is if you guys want to read up on it. It's page 214 and 215 where he talks about those crutches. So if you guys have this book, it's in the description down below. You can check it out. He talks about the 500 to 600 calorie crutch. And you can kind of think about it. But I don't want to recommend this to anyone until I experiment with it myself. So I did it this morning and I'm feeling really, really good now. And not hungry, continuing on going, jumping right into the fast again. Yeah, page 214 in this book. 214 and 215. He talks about it when he talks about the 5-2 schedule and also the alternate day fasting schedule. And he says on any full day fasts, you can go ahead and have a crutch meal. Now, I'm scared of crutch meals because typically in my mind, the crutch meal is something that if your mind tricks you into it instead of actually planning it through, it's possible that it doesn't end at the crutch and you just kind of go overboard with eating. But I've planned it, I've decided, I read about it, and I did this. So right now I'm not feeling hungry and I'm feeling really, really good. So I think it's chapter 13. 214. Chapter 13. It's chapter 13 right at the beginning when he starts talking about the 5-2 schedule and alternate day fasting. So chapter 13, if you guys want to go read about it a little bit, and everyone can interpret it in their own way. So that's kind of what it is. Exactly. So Drummer Girl says any crutch meal or small amount of calories immediately puts me into binge mode. So that's something that typically most people say that. And I was afraid that if I did a crutch, I would go into the kind of like, okay, I'm fully breaking my fast now. But instead of actually letting my mind trick me into it, I researched it, I thought about it, and I did it in a disciplined way. So I haven't been hungry at all, and I'm jumping right back into the fast. So if I ever did a crutch, if you guys are jumping back into the fast with me, that's perfect. Some of you guys are on day 5 strong and you didn't do any crutch whatsoever. You guys are killing it. But I really want to talk about this aspect of mental health when it comes to fasting. So you guys know I talked about this in my video the other day about how there are so many people, so many like naysayers and stuff like that. And fasting is really not mainstream. Fasting is just something that people might not agree with. And in general, people don't like the people who are fasting. Like I posted a photo, and I think one of the most negative places in the entire world is Reddit. And it's crazy because people can be feeling really good about themselves and post a photo, a before and after photo on Reddit, and it gets shredded into pieces. So I would recommend, if you guys have a good transformation photo, don't post it on Reddit. Most of the time it's such a negative community. So I know these people were telling me when they used to post photos on Reddit or in other communities, they would have like a tattoo on one arm, and then in the other after photo, the tattoo would be on the other side because they took a mirror selfie. And then people are like, that's a fake photo, blah, 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 blah. So it's really important to just kind of tune out all the negative things in your life. People forget that we're already critical of ourselves. We already have a lot going on in ourselves and our lives, and the weight loss journey is something that we add on top of everything that's already in our life. So we don't need any backseat drivers telling us what to do. At the end of the day, this is your journey. If you want to do a crutch meal, you go do that crutch meal. If you've thought it through and it's not your mind playing tricks on you, then go for it. Okay? If you want to do fasting and people around you are judging you, then don't tell them and just do it for yourself, as long as you check with a doctor and you're okay here. Oh, I didn't see a naysayer. What was the comment? I totally missed it. Fasting for long periods of time is bad for your body, needs vitamins. So the thing is, our body has enough nutrients and minerals, right? A lot of the time, if you're fasting, obviously you have to have a certain weight. Like, I wouldn't recommend anyone who's a normal BMI to keep fasting forever, because yeah, you do need to replenish those nutrients. But at the same time, if you take your potassium, if you take magnesium, if you take your salt, and some people take a multivitamin, then you have enough nutrients in your body to keep going. So it really depends. And then when you do your refeed in a good way, you can keep going and replenish those electrolytes. So I haven't had any problems so far, and you guys know I've done a couple long fasts, but now I want to experiment with the kind of crutch method and do shorter ones and see how that goes. So I'm not sure how long the next segment of my fast is going to be, but I'm feeling good right now, and I'm not feeling like eating today, and I feel like the crutch helped me get through it. So I just want everyone to celebrate that we are on day 5 of our March fasting challenge, regardless of whether you've done 5 days straight, or you fell off the wagon and jumped back on, or you did a crutch meal, or you're doing 72-hour fasts, or you're doing OMAD, whatever it is. I said this is your journey. Nobody's here to tell you what to do. Nobody can judge you. And anyway, the people that usually judge you are probably not the people that are succeeding anyway, because if they were succeeding, they would be busy thinking about their own journey and their own success instead of nitpicking the things that you're doing. So don't forget that. Super, super important. I posted a photo on Reddit today, and for some reason in the photo, I put my arm back. It's the same photo I posted on Instagram. So when I took the photo, I had my arm back here, and for some reason, it looks like my arm is small, and then people started saying that my arm is like a little T-Rex arm, and like, oh, when you fast, your arms get shrunk. And it was funny, but it's like people just need to say unnecessary things for no reason. So anyway, if you guys are feeling like you're in a bad mood, Get going on the treadmill, go for a walk, clear your mind. That's what I did today. And it wasn't about that comment or anything in general. I was just kind of up and down with my mood today. I think it's the weather. So I hope you guys are doing well today. But just remember, there's always gonna be people in your life that are gonna wanna be the backseat drivers in this journey that you have. And your mind has a lot to do to work and progress and try to really continue to kind of come on this journey with you to make sure that you're progressing instead of going backwards. Fasting has personally helped me so much with my mood. And like I said at the beginning of this video, even if I don't lose any weight from fasting, zero, it's done significant things in terms of making my mood better. Because I used to have a lot of feelings of depression and those anxiety feelings and the stress feelings, and my mind would feel like jumbled and always have 1,000 thoughts going through my mind. And now I'm very list oriented. I have habit trackers that I like to check off in my planner. I like to make lists, to-do lists, things like that. Those things help me keep me on track and they keep my mind organized. And fasting really gives me that mental clarity and that focus. And if ever I do have a period of time where I'm feeling like I have a low mood, it really helps me to do a fast for a couple of days and it elevates my mood significantly. And I really want to stress how important this is because fasting is for health. It's not just for weight loss. And that's why this time I'm not talking about weight loss and I'm not doing the scale weigh-ins and stuff like that because that will come. It's just an automatic side effect. Right? It's gonna happen anyway. But really the most important thing for me personally about fasting is that it's really given me the opportunity to look at the bigger picture in life and really start to focus on my mood and my feelings and doing that self-development, becoming more self-aware about my relationship with food and the things around me. And another thing is that when you fast, somehow you just have these new goggles on. You can look at the world in a different light. And you notice like these things are toxic in your life, these things are not benefiting you in your life, there's no value to it. So you can start to slowly chip those things out, right? Chip the things out that are not good for you, you can cut them out. Whether it's toxic people that they just don't support you at all. Sometimes it's important to kind of tamper down and maybe space yourself away from those people if it's something that's really harming you in your life. So look at the bigger picture. It's just always important, like never chase money, always chase happiness. Obviously money gives you comfort and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, money also can bring stress. So I would never tell people to take more money for more stress. It's not good. It's not good for our mental health. In this day and age, when we already have so many problems with our mental health because of all the social media that's being fed to us and all these fake images, like I'm not here to be this perfect fasting person. I'm not here to be this perfect icon. Today I did a crutch meal and maybe I don't feel great about it and maybe I do feel great about it, but at the end of the day, it's an experiment I want to do to see how disciplined I am in terms of getting back on the fast, which I'm doing now. But I really want this channel to be just about like a normal person struggling to continue to lose weight and be on that journey just like everyone else. And I know some people have these like incredible YouTubes and incredible like influencer things on Instagram where they're this just perfect person and they're on a pedestal and it's perfect, but I don't think that's someone that I can relate to because I want to see the nitty-gritty and the human part of every single person. And the truth is nobody is a perfect person in this world and everybody makes mistakes. I've done 2 21-day fasts and they were amazing and I stuck with it the whole time. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be able to do 21-day fasts forever. That's not going to mean that I'm going to succeed every single time. So this is one of those examples like, yeah, okay, I did a crutch meal. I would have liked to not do it maybe, but at the same time, I do want to explore with it. I really want to experiment because if I don't do the crutch meal, then how will I tell you guys if it works and if it's going to make you want to eat a lot and not continue your fast afterward? How will I be able to give you that advice if I don't try it myself, right? So that's kind of the driving factor that led me to really want to do the crutch meal. And I still reset my timer. But again, this challenge is a monthly challenge, right? We're doing it for the whole month of March. That doesn't mean we're fasting for the whole month of March, but that means we can do some fasting, some extended fasting, some refeeds, some OMADs, some 72s, whatever you want. All you have to do is maybe kind of keep it in chunks if you want. It helps you mentally. Like there's one of the girls that I'm working with and she did the stickies in a different system. So she wants to do 72-hour fast and refeed every 72 hours. So she did 72 hours refeed, 72 hours refeed, and she made her post-its like that. I posted it on my Instagram today if you guys don't follow it. So super important. I'm gonna read a couple of these comments here. I want you guys to tell me today, name one struggle that you went through today and how you overcame it. So there was one of the girls in our group. Okay, I'll tell you two stories that I heard from the girls in our group. One of the girls, she's craving bread all the time. Bread is like her weakness. When her husband goes out to the store and brings bread home, she craves it a lot, and she's on day 5. So what she did is that she whipped him up something today. She made him breakfast so he doesn't go out and get bread for breakfast, and she was feeling much better. So she said, oh, this is how I overcame this struggle of me really wanting to break my fast on bread. So that was what she did today. And then another one of our group members said what they did is that they have this event tomorrow where they need to eat a lot of the time because it's a lot of social pressure from the family to eat. And she told her 2 little kids, she has 5 kids, she told the 2 little ones that she's gonna pay them $1 per pound that she loses. So they're like her little fasting coaches, and she calls them her little fasting coaches. And it helps her every day because sometimes she reaches for the pantry and the little ones come up to her like, Mom, you're fasting, because they want their dollar, you know? So there's a lot of different tricks that you can do to make sure that you stay on track. If there's supportive people around you, you can talk to them. And I want to hear what you guys are doing. Like, what's one struggle you went through today and how did you overcome that struggle? And while you guys are answering those, I want to read a couple of the comments here, even though they're not popping up. So I'm just going to wait because I think my camera's frozen. Oh, there it was. Okay, there you go. So I want to read some of these. Stay off Reddit. Yeah, a lot of you guys are saying you stay off Reddit too. You guys are all here. 72 and I will still, 72 hours you'll still lose weight. Don't forget, it's just like in general, you have to just do it overall consistently. You're not gonna lose weight in one shot. Just do it consistently over a period of time. Blah, blah. I didn't say blah, blah, blah. Megan says that will make you, people only share that. I know, that's the thing, honestly, in terms of mental health, so many people always share just their highlight reel. And I think we all get caught up on things like Instagram where we only show the highlight reel of our lives. We only show the positives. Like those people who go traveling once a year and they take like a couple nice photos when they're traveling. And then all of a sudden their entire Instagram is like always traveling photos. And we think, okay, they don't work a day in their lives and all they do is travel. So that's not the reality. That's not the reality, but the image they portray, and that's the highlight reel. Every single person who posts on Instagram, most of the time, they're posting their highlight reel. Because who's gonna post a picture of them crying on Instagram with makeup all over their face, binge eating a bunch of ice cream and crying about how depressed they are? Like, that's not something that people like to post on Instagram, and people don't like to talk about mental health. And it's actually shocking, right? Because there's all those things like the Bell Let's Talk Day where everybody says that they're gonna talk about their mental health, but nobody really talks about their mental health. You know, people don't actually really talk about it because when they talk about it, it seems like people always shrug it off and just, oh, you'll feel better, don't worry about it. But then they're the same people that say, oh, if you need anything, if you want to talk, come to me. But it's just like such a weird concept to me sometimes. I don't know if you guys experience that as well. But here's my roller coaster of a day today, and I snapped myself out of this mood I was in when I woke up this morning, and I'm gonna be really productive tonight because I feel good. I did my walk, I got my endorphins in, and I haven't done a walk in a while, so I'm feeling really, really good about that. And what I'm gonna do is that I'm just gonna clean the rest of the day, and I'm gonna continue. Nazanin says, I started thinking about refeed, it made me think of food, so I took a nap. Decided I need to immediately distract myself every time I start thinking about food. Exactly. Okay, you know what I said sometimes when you're in that trance and the cupboard is like pulling you and you really want to start eating and all you could think about in that moment is eating, and you could think about, oh, I can't eat, I can't eat, I can't eat, I can't eat. And then you start obsessing over the fact that you can't eat, and that makes it worse. So instead, just completely, fully try to distract your mind. Okay, start a new project. Go do your nails. Go clean your makeup brushes. Go start organizing the cabinet, start a new project. You know, your pantry might be messy, so just take the time to take everything out, wipe the pantry, and start organizing everything one by one. That's gonna help you stay distracted. Or find a project around the house that you need to work on, or go for a walk, or call somebody on the phone and get distracted, or come watch the videos on live. Like, there's so many things that we can do to stay distracted, to try not to think about food. So if any of you guys are watching those mukbangs and you're watching the cooking shows and stuff like that it could be detrimental and it could cause you to want to eat. So let's try to kind of navigate away from always watching the things and doing food-oriented activities. For me, something that I struggle with that you guys, some of you know, some of you don't know, is that I cook every day because I cook for my partner. I'm like the main person that cooks in the house. So even while I'm fasting, I do the cooking, and it could be tricky to be around food that much. And yesterday I tried a new recipe out that actually one of you guys sent me that, and we were both fasting, and then I tried that recipe, and it was kind of hard because I've never tried it before, and it just kind of like, it messes with your head, but it's funny. Someone's asking if I've ever done dry fasting. I'm not an advocate of dry fasting, and Jason Fung talks about it too. I don't know if he has it in this book or if it's the other book. I'll see if I can locate it. But he basically talks, oh, here you go. Let me read it for you guys so you can see. Because he always says that the benefits of dry fasting do not outweigh the cons. So there are too many like health related things that can happen when you're dry fasting that makes it not worth to do the dry fasting. That's why I don't advocate for it, because water fasting is going to reduce inflammation and all those types of things. So there's really no point in adding that extra difficulty and kind of like putting yourself at risk in terms of your health to decrease inflammation and stuff, because that happens also during water fasting. And I want to see if I can find it here, because I don't super agree with dry fasting. Fat fast, dry fast. Okay. Okay, here, let me read it. So if you guys are interested, there's like a little tab on chapter 11 of this book. And again, if you guys don't have this book, the description box down below has the link for it on Amazon. So page 195, this is chapter 11. It says, in a dry fast, no fluids of any kind are allowed. Muslims practice this type of fasting during daylight hours of holy month of Ramadan. So they do the fasting from sunrise to sunset, and that's okay because it's just some hours during the day, but it's not an ongoing dry fast over the course of a period of time, right? So this combines fasting with mild dehydration. In my opinion, so according to Jason Fung, in my opinion, this makes fasting much more difficult than other types of fasting, and I do not recommend this for medical reasons. The risk of complications is also much higher due to the accompanying dehydration. So that's a reason that I don't personally do any dry fasting, and I always, like, there's actually a flag in our group on Facebook that if someone comments dry fasting, the comment gets removed automatically. So if you guys have ever spoken about dry fasting, that's why it's not there, because I just don't want anyone doing any dry fasting for health reasons in general. So that's kind of my opinion. That's Mr. Fung, Dr. Fung's opinion on dry fasting as well. Let's see what else. Nia says, I have zero cravings, but today I experienced headaches and nausea. I've tried the salt water and also ACV. I'm feeling much better. I have lost 5 kilograms in 5 days. That's amazing. I'm so happy that the salt water and the apple cider vinegar helped you. And someone said, hey, fasting warriors, I have cravings while preparing meals for my kids, but I think about dream body and that I'm gonna keep me focused if I don't eat. That's amazing. So that's something you can do, right? You can take a picture, put it on your wall, put a post-it on your wall, and if you do have to cook every day, just keep remembering your why and why you're doing this. Tara says, I do dry fasting in Ramadan. It starts in April. That's fine. So as you guys know, I'm Turkish. So a lot of people in my family, so it's called, in Turkish, it's called Ramazan. And dry fasting in that case for religious reasons is totally fine. Okay, because it's a normal thing in that period, because it's not a true dry fasting. It's just dry fasting from sunrise to sunset. So it's just several hours throughout the day up to, like, it depends what region you're in and when the sunset and sunrise is. But a lot of the time it's maximum, like in Canada, it gets to like 12, 13 hours or maybe 14 hours max that you're not drinking. And that's fine because you're drinking overnight. But I know a lot of people who are going on these like 2-3 day fasts that are dry, and I really don't advocate for that. For the religious reasons, it's okay. If you're doing Ramadan or Ramazan, if you're Turkish, that's fine. But in terms of actually calling it a dry fast, I don't advocate for that at all in terms of prolonging it and doing a long dry fast. Someone says, I should probably ask a doctor, this is okay to fast with low vitamin D levels. Momashia, I would just definitely recommend to check with your doctor because I'm not sure in terms of vitamin D levels. Sarah says, if you break your fast, can you post on Facebook, or you'd advise against it because it discourages others, like if you have a crush? Can you post? No, honestly, if you guys break your fast, post it on Facebook, okay? But don't post it in a way that you feel like it's a failure, because I don't want people to think that having a crutch is a failure. This is a journey that we're all on together. So it's okay if you want to do a refeed or a crutch, but let's try to kind of change the words that we use. And instead of saying, I failed, I had a meal, I broke my fast, instead of saying that, turn it into a positive thing. Make it positive. Say, I had a crutch meal, I did a refeed, and now I'm continuing on my fast. Don't talk about failure, because it doesn't mean you fail. Tell me how many people in your life who actually completed a 2-day fast, a 3-day fast, a 4-day fast, a 5-day fast. How many people in your life actually was able to accomplish such a thing? Probably no one. So I really want you guys to think about it and reframe it in a positive light. Don't post on Facebook in a negative way, I failed and I ate and blah, blah, blah. I feel like a terrible person. Don't feel like that. Say, I made a choice, I had a refeed, I did a crutch, and now I'm back on the fasting schedule feeling good, right? 2-3 days might be risky, exactly. So I wouldn't recommend for anyone to do any dry fasting like that. A lot of people keep saying 3 days dry fasting equals 1 day water fasting, but it's never been proven. See, it's a thing that people say because there's other influencers out there that talk about like dry fasting and death fasting and sitting in a sauna for hours and dehydrating yourself. And to be honest, all those things sound very scary to me, and I don't understand why people do it, because what's gonna happen, you're just gonna lose a ton of water weight, but it's just water weight. So I don't understand what the point of it is. I know sometimes some people say it reduces inflammation and stuff, but so does water fasting. So why are we talking about this, and why are people encouraging dry fasting and dehydrating yourself to the extreme and then sitting in a sauna for 3-4 hours a day? Like, I don't understand why this is a thing. It sounds super dangerous to me. And I want people to do this as a lifestyle, not as like a quick fix to lose all the weight really fast, right? That's why it's called a fasting focused lifestyle. Someone's asking about the crutch. So I'll read it here if you guys want me to read it. 2:14, the crutch meal. Now, I'm not like necessarily encouraging everybody to do a crutch meal, but if you get to that point where it's like full out break your fast or kind of try to do a crutch if you haven't thought about it, then maybe it's something you can consider. So on the other 2 fasting days, women may eat up to 500 calories per day and men up to 600 calories per day. These 2 fasting days can be done on consecutive days or spaced apart depending upon your preference. These 500 to 600 calories can be consumed in a single meal or spread out into multiple meals over the course of the day, though of course they would be very small meals. So that in particular is related to the 5-2 fast. That's why he talks about the 2 full fasting days. And another thing that you can do is that it says here, 500 to 600 calories are permitted each fasting day, but because fasting is done every other day, on alternate day fasting, for example, it's a slightly more intense regimen than the 5-2 diet. This regimen should be followed until you reach target weight. After that, the number of fasting days can be reduced as long as you're maintaining the ideal weight. So he also mentioned here somewhere, I can't find it, was saying that if you're gonna do a fasting crutch, it has to be on full day fasts only. So that's kind of an option. Again, at the end of the day, we're all doing this for our own body. You decide what's good for your body. You don't need any backseat drivers or any opinions from people to tell you what to do and what not to do. Okay, some people won't agree with what you're doing. Some people will agree with what you're doing. And you don't need this kind of negative energy in your life. You don't need backseat drivers in your weight loss journey. So just tell them to focus on their own journey, and you could focus on your own journey, and everybody could do what they want personally as long as it's working. And you'll see this with the inches, you'll see this with the scale if you weigh yourself, and you'll see this in other ways like mentally, physically, and everything like that. So I hope this was a good little pep talk for you guys in terms of how you're feeling. And I'm just gonna read some comments here before they pop up. But I feel like everyone's doing pretty well so far. What if you fast for 4 or 5 days and refeed on liquid foods, blended foods consistently? Is that bad for your colon? A lot of people do, for example, like a bone broth fast. So you can do a bone broth fast for a while. And there's really no good or bad answer to this. If you want to continue doing a liquid diet, do a bone broth fast like that, and then continue doing a normal water fast. Like, it's all unlimited options. Just make sure that you check with your doctor and you see if it's working. Every single person's body is different. That's why there's no one size fits all answer to this. You just kind of have to experiment with yourself and see what works the best. For some people, that's 48-hour fast every 2 days. They fast and then they eat, fast, eat. Some people it's 72, so they do 3 days fast, eat, 3 days fast, eat. For some people, we like to do like 5 days fasting, 2 days eating, or 2 days fasting and 5 days eating. So many combinations. That's why it's up to you to figure out the fasting protocol that works for you. If you read Jason Fung's book, there are so many fasting protocols in here, you guys don't even believe it. 36-hour fast, 48-hour fast, OMAD, 5-2 diet, alternate day fasting. Like, just try it and see how you feel. That's the only way you will know what works for your body and for your lifestyle. And the most important thing is not to listen to anyone, but make the decision yourself. Right? Focus on your mental health, focus on your happiness, focus on your own results and see how you're feeling. Okay? So just kind of take that and do some reading, do some research, and experiment with your body. As long as you're seeing those results and you're consistent with it, you'll have success with probably everything that you try. So just do whatever works for you. And it's important also to plan your fasting around social events. So if you have a meeting at that point, if you have a dinner, if you have a special event, just try to make your fasting schedule fit around it. But what I do recommend is coming up with a sticky system and planning out your month as much as possible. So if you have a meeting on this day, you know this day is going to be a refeed day. Or if you have a special dinner on this day, then you know, okay, either I'm going to go for dinner, or I'm going to fast through dinner, or I'm going to cancel that dinner, or it doesn't matter. So just make a schedule, use your fasting stickies. You can do that if you want, and just plan your month out and write down the special events that you have here, and then keep going like that. So I hope this kind of helps you guys today. I hope it didn't confuse you too much because there's so many different protocols out there. But at this particular moment, we're done day 5 of the challenge. So I'm right back on a water fast now. I'm gonna go for a couple days and I'll keep you guys posted, but I wanna go for at least 3 or 4 or 5 days again and see how I feel like that. So we keep going, take it one day at a time, see how we're feeling, try to plan ahead so you don't let your mind play tricks on you. So what I encourage everyone to do is to keep your plan, make a plan for the next 7 days, or if you've already made the plan for 7 days, then start the next plan on Sunday night when we kind of start the next week of the month, and just keep going. All you have to do is keep that self-discipline, tune out all the noise from people around you if you're having those naysayers, and just keep pushing. Because we're not perfect, we make mistakes, we learn from mistakes, we fail forward, and we're always gonna have success if we keep consistent and keep going at it with this journey, right? I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, we're all kind of in a trial period here, just doing whatever works for us to get the results that we want. And summer is coming soon, so I'm super excited for you guys. I'm super excited to see what kind of outfits you guys picked out for the summer, and we can get there. We have 2 months for March and April. I have a wedding that I'm going to in May, so I'm really excited to kind of look good and take photos because that's going to be one of the big social events that I have this year. And no, it's not my wedding, but I'm really, really excited for that. So I'm kind of like working towards that and looking for something. Apparently I have to pick a pastel outfit to wear. So if you guys have any ideas of pastel outfits, then send them over to me and I'll check it out because I have no sense of fashion whatsoever. So if you guys ever want to chat with me, you guys know I'm on Facebook Messenger. I always answer everyone. I'm probably easier to reach on Instagram too, so you can always check the Instagram. I put all the links down below. The main one that I use is the personal one, so it's at Y, the letter, P-I-Y-A-L-E. So if you guys have any questions, I'm pretty much always answering them as much as I can, as fast as I can. You guys can send me an email too. I put the link down below for the water fasting form if you guys want to do your check-in today. Also do your check-in in the comments of the video once it's posted up, and just have a great day. Just keep pushing. Today we're fasting through the night for whoever's fasting through the night, and we're gonna do this. So I'll be back tomorrow. And also in the comments down below, let me know what kind of topics that you guys want me to cover, what you guys want me to talk about, what motivates you, if there's something you have questions about that you want me to make a video about. Just give me some ideas if you have something that I really want to cover, and then we can talk about that. So I hope you guys have a great, great day. I'm gonna leave you guys like that, and I'm going to go and do some cleaning and maybe some more treadmill, just some walking, like very slow walking while I'm answering your messages if you guys have questions. Okay, so I'll see you guys later, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening, whatever time zone you're in. Maybe it's already tomorrow morning for you guys, so I hope you have a rest of your night that's amazing. Happy fasting family, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye guys.